landlords must ensure the rental unit is properly maintained and in compliance with health, housing, safety and maintenance standards before the tenant moves in and throughout the tenancy. A landlord is responsible for maintaining all services and facilities that the landlord provides or permits the tenant to use as part of the tenancy agreement. If something no longer works because of normal wear and tear, the landlord must repair it so that it works properly or replace it. Even if the tenant agrees to rent the unit, as is, at a lower rent, the landlord is still responsible for making sure the unit is in compliance. The landlord cannot escape their obligations imposed by the Residential Tenancies Act by including language in the tenancy agreement which transfers the maintenance and repair obligations onto the tenant. These clauses will be considered void, and the landlord will be required to carry out the appropriate steps to maintain and repair. Maintenance problems usually involve a violation of a local property standard. Most municipalities have bylaws dealing with property standards and building inspectors who enforce the bylaws by issuing a work order. For communities that do not have municipal bylaws, the landlords must follow the provincial maintenance standards. The landlord's obligation to maintain the premises in a good state of repair is very broad and would include anything that was capable of being repaired. The meaning of fit for habitation also applies to any part of the premises that is unfit due to infestation of rodents, bathrooms with backed up sewage, rooms with broken windows, etc. The treatment of infestations falls under the maintenance obligations of the landlord. The costs required to treat the unit cannot be passed on to the tenant unless the landlord can prove the tenant unnecessarily increased their costs by failing to cooperate. If the landlord fails to actively address the infestation, the tenant may be entitled to compensation for belongings, which may have been discarded as a result of the landlord's inaction. The landlord is also responsible for assisting tenants that have a hoarding disorder. Landlords have to find a balance between the duty to accommodate the disability of a tenant who suffers from a hoarding disorder with the obligation to provide all tenants with a rental unit that meets health, safety, housing, and maintenance standards. If a landlord fails to maintain the property, the tenant can file an application with the Landlord and Tenant Board. If the board determines that a breach occurred, the landlord may be ordered to complete the work, provide the tenant with an abatement of rent, terminate the tenancy, and/or receive a fine of up to $25,000. For more information about maintaining the rental unit, please visit www.landlordselfhelp.com.